And we're back to the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly Europe and into our semifinals, IDDQD versus Arcane.
Yeah, definitely be an upset if Arcane wins, but not a surprise, if that makes sense. They played so well against SG1, and IDDQD, I think, are the favorites to move on to the finals, and Reunited also being a favorite as well, but Arcane showed a lot of style in the last set, and they could definitely beat IDDQD, but IDDQD, with their secret weapon, is going to be running Pluppy today.
Yeah, Pluppy, he gets around, man. He's one team 1 week, on another team next week. Sometimes he's in North America, sometimes he's EU. He's just Plup.
This is his fourth team in less than 2 weeks.
I mean, what can Pluppy is a dignified gentleman. He gets around. What can I say? So, right now we are waiting on the map draft, or perhaps have already done map draft. I'm not sure.
I think it just began, and of course Hanamura comes off the board immediately as IDDQD bans it out.
No surprises there. Although, actually, I guess a little bit of surprise, because sometimes we have seen Hanamura recently. The real surprise would be if we somehow saw Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, a surprise is one way to put it. I would be surprised, amongst other things. Temple of Anubis is banned out by Arcane. Huzzah. I want to see King of the Hill. Let's see if we get some King of the Hill maps.
I would love to see either Nepal or Lijiang, but maybe IDDQD doesn't want to go down that route, as Nepal has been taken out.
Yeah, we talked about the IDDQD and scrims that they had on stream, or Pluppy did on stream, against Envious, where they were dominant against Envious on stream, and those mostly took place on Numbani, and that's when Pluppy was running a lot of Junkrat. I'm interested to see if we're going to see Junkrat today in a more effective role. It's been rumored, it's been hinted at that we're going to see Junkrat, but that's mostly to counter the double Winston meta that we saw for a couple sets last week, but haven't seen really so far this week. And the second King of the Hill map comes off the board as IDDQD does not want to play Koth.
Yeah, it seems like they're just getting rid of it entirely. And yeah, it does seem like we sort of see teams come up with very, very unique team compositions that, wow, it's the next greatest thing. And then teams come up with counter comps like maybe Junkrat versus Double Winston. And then teams sort of go back to their more generic one of each hero type comps. But you do see sort of these mix-ups with the double hero comps, which is why I'm not entirely convinced that double heroes should necessarily go away, because sometimes it does create these ripples in the meta that teams have sort of been working around this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's way too early to respond to, oh, double hero, we need to be limiting to one hero per class, because before the sets we saw last week where there was very double hero heavy compositions, we rarely saw double heroes, and when we did see it, it wasn't always working out all that well. To that point, we are going to Dorado, so I doubt we'll be seeing the standard double, or the 2-2-2 comp that we saw last week. Probably a Symmetra, maybe some Widow, and maybe some Tracer for you.
One can hope, is what it comes down to. One can hope. I mean, I'm probably hoping overly too much here, but man, it would be nice.
Hey, everyone's got their favorites. I like the Pharah play. We got to see a little bit of Pharah. It's only fair if you get around to seeing some more Tracer games.
Yeah, but I mean, I want Tracer to do well also. I don't want to see, oh, hey, it's Tracer. Oh, hey, McCree just killed Tracer again, and down goes Tracer.
Yeah, we're speaking of Tracer in past tense a lot the last couple rounds. They're trying. They're doing their best on Tracer. They're trying to give Tracer a chance in the meta, but it's tough go for out there now. What really, it works well to try to counter Zenyatta, but I think there might be better ways to do it. Generally, the best way to counter a Zenyatta and Genji is with your own Zenyatta and Genji. The Tracer has not been super effective on that front.
Yeah, no, the Tracer, it's interesting because Tracer does well getting in the Zenyatta, but these Zenyatas have been pretty well protected. I don't know, it's just interesting because sometimes a Tracer can get back into the backline, and the Tracers we've seen today have been very hesitant to sort of like go in and commit. They get in on the Zenyatta, they do maybe half a clip, and then they back out. That's not good enough. No half measures. You have to go full in, unload your entire clip in the Zenyatta, and let things where they may.
Yeah, and then hit your melee, really. I mean, melee for Tracer is a huge part of her game. I died of melee Tracers all the time, but it really need that last extra bit of damage, and you're already going to be running close quarters.
Well, the interesting thing, if Lucio isn't healing up Zenyatta too much, Tracer can actually one-clip Zenyatta, no melee required. And for the other characters in the game, she can one-clip them with the aid of melee. So her burst assassin damage is actually very, very high if played properly. But it's harder in a comp game where McCree can just sort of go, oh, here you are, and two-shot you from range before you even get in. So Tracer and how she attacks can be very, very nebulous at times, so to speak. So we're just waiting for both teams to get ready here.
Okay.
We're asking again if we were ready. It's like we already said we were the first ones ready. We were ready before it was
we
cool.
had people we were trying to invite who kept leaving, so I'll try to work on that as we go through. Running a clean feed, running invites. We're trying to actually kind of expand and make sure our clean feeds and our invites are going out to people of all sorts of different regions and languages, which is why it's taking a little longer here and there sometimes. But we're just talked about like hero selections and hero bans, things like that. If you want to chime in on how we're doing the map selections, map bans, our Overwatch draft tool might be going under the knife with the development team, but we need to know what to actually do with it. We don't want to have to cut twice after measuring once, so we're going to measure twice, cut once. Go to GosuGamers.net/Overwatch. We've got some polls up there about our map draft, our map bans. Overall, how we're running things here, so you can chime in, vote for what you like to see, what we are doing well, what we aren't doing well, etc. on GosuGamers.net/Overwatch. And while you're there, check out our rankings and everything. And a quick shout out to our sponsors, Maturino.com, DX Racer, and Rockhat. Without them, we would not be able to provide the $360 prize pool that is going to go to our winner today. Thank you very much to them. And please, in chat, show your support for them by visiting their websites, buying their products, etc., etc.
So, all that being said, taking a look at the defense coming out from Arcane, we got Nevix on Reaper, Sanchez on Lucio, Vid on the Reinhardt, Lullaby on the Zenyatta, Ruster on Winston, and Cruz on McCree. And just before anyone says anything, the teams did switch up who's attacking. They pulled a fast one on me, but we'll have that fixed up in just a second here.
Yep, and pretty standard coming out from IDDQD. Most people on their regular heroes. Taimu on McCree. Pluppy is actually going to be playing Genji for this first map.
And Genji, he will be holding that Harmony Orb, although now he gets to hold the Discord Orb. So take a look at Pluppy here. Pluppy's just very content to sit here and just sort of spam down the Reinhardt shield, which is very effective. I mean, Reinhardt shield does take some time to regenerate, and oftentimes teams don't really attack it as much as they should.
Yeah, but Nevix draws first blood and takes down the opposing Winston on Internet Hulk, and that's going to allow them to put a little more pressure on. They're going to try to back up and find a better defensive stance. The problem with chasing that kill is now they're all off the high ground, and now the card has a pretty free path to move.
Yeah, I mean, right now, even with that early kill, we see IDDQD able to sort of push as they want here. Pluppy and Taimu both getting the kills, and let me just say, Taimu is a phenomenal McCree. He does all the work that you'd expect from McCree and then some, and he's been a great force for IDDQD, both now and in the past.
Yeah, the way the meta's going, you really need a good McCree to be able to compete with these top teams, because everyone's got one, so if you're building a team, start around your McCree.
Don't come to the dance without a cowboy. So, as it is, IDDQD still pushing forward. Doesn't quite get the flashbang they're looking for, but the Deadeye does strike on Sanchez. And I'm not sure what's going on with Reaper here. Reaper's just like thinking, man, I hope McCree doesn't see me crouching here. But unfortunately, McCree did see, and down goes Reaper. Nevix, bonus points are trying. But IDDQD going to move to the first checkpoint here very, very quickly.
Yeah, super quick. And why would the Reaper think that anyone can see him based on the fact that he's been hiding behind doors and wrecking whole teams for the last 2 weeks in tournaments?
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, good stuff coming out from IDDQD on their push here, and look at how far out they're pushing here. Taimu, you're just watching here, it's just hit. Some great accuracy coming out from him, but meanwhile, take a look at Pluppy. Pluppy is in the backfield, does have Dragon Blade ready to unleash it at any point. Sees a whole bunch of groups of people, is actually holding off on it for now. Might be getting off the Reaper here, but no, Reaper is able to get away. So, Reaper almost dying off the ill-fated teleport. We do have a defensive sound barrier coming up here. Pluppy's still going in, regardless. Wanting to take out the Zenyatta, does take him out in 2 shots. People on both sides really losing people here, but it's looking like it's going to go in favor of IDDQD with the sort of combination attack of Taimu and Pluppy able to take most out.
Yeah, actually Coco with a really nice charge there too. It really turned the fight around. It was pretty even, and then he got the charge, immobilized a few heroes, and the rest of his team was able to clean that up. I wonder if they're even going to try to defense this point, or they're going to try to set up for a stronger defense. It looks like they're just going to kind of hold on defense. Nope, they're going to come in and try to protest this point.
Yep. Nevix had the Death Blossom, but he got taken out before he could use it. That's very unfortunate for Nevix. Gets taken out by Pluppy very early there, and now, I mean, they can still hold, but it's going to be a harder job for them in general. Reinhardt in the back does have Earthshower, getting taken out by Pluppy, and again, just sort of a situation where Arcane was not able to set up the way they wanted to. Taimu and Pluppy pushing up, and they get to the next checkpoint with a surprising amount of haste.
Yeah, Nevix gets a kill onto Taimu, but the Pluppy then reflected the Death Blossom onto Nevix, taking him out too. Pluppy is causing all sorts of problems.
I mean, Pluppy, of course, one of the more prolific Overwatch players early on into Beta 2, and he's proving it here today where he's been playing a great Genji and really causing a whole sorts of problems for Arcane thus far.
He's just creating chaos. He was in their back lines for a while, and he caused 2 heroes to try to chase him, and eventually they just gave up and left. I mean, that's the kind of problems he's causing.
That being said, just got to take out by Cruz, so this might be time for Arcane Esports to sort of come back, do a push of their own, and try and solidify the game plan here, because they've been all out of sorts for the last few pushes.
Yeah, defense is actually kind of setting up here. They're in a pretty decent spot. A couple ultimates up able to use, so they have stemmed the tide for now.
Yep, they do have a sound barrier up. They have Dragon Blade of their own, but look at all the offensive ults are coming up. Really, IDDQD is absolutely stocked for this next push.
I think they're going to wait until Transcendence is up just to have a full-on arsenal.
They won't have to wait long. Chipsogen is at 85%, and here they go. They are going to go in. Ults are going down for both, but no, the sound barrier doesn't go down on that side. He's taken out very, very quickly, and good offense from IDDQD coming in here. Pluppy using the Dragon Blade is going to take out the Reinhardt as well. And this is looking all IDDQD right now.
Yeah, that Transcendence coupled with Pluppy still alive, and it made a really hard time for defense to be able to finally clean that up. Just too much healing coming down, and also just so hard to hit Pluppy.
Meanwhile, we see, and Bridgebup still has his sound barrier. He could drop it at any point here, and they could really use this to push forward and get a very formidable Dorado time.
Yeah, really aggressive defensive Transcendence comes down, though.
Yeah, and Ruster with 2 kills. Anyone I switch to apparently is going to get killed by Ruster, so Ruster making things happen as Winston. And really, Ruster and Vio working together really solidified the Arcane defense here, and some nice tank.
Yeah, I don't like what Hawk did there at all. He went in to try to maybe distract, maybe get some kills, even though his team wasn't very far up, which is fine if you're the only one whose life is at stake. However, they still had their Zenyatta in that fight as well, and he got taken out after the fact too. So now they're really gonna have to wait. They stagger those 2 deaths instead of 1. Not really certain why Hawk decided to go back in there and engage in a 1v4.
Take a look at this, though. Nevix is setting up for a Death Blossom. He's going to have to deal with Taimu, though, and that's not the easiest thing to deal with, Reaper v. McCree aside. So I think Nevix is going to have to go for Death Blossom, but from a different location. We do have a Dragon Blade coming down. Nevix, taking the longer route here, going on top, is going to drop down, look for a Death Blossom, almost certainly. Internet Hulk, some trouble. But really, this is still looking very good for IDDQD. Nevix was not able to get the Death Blossom out, and it's showing here.
Taimu, oh my goodness, he got speed boosted in. He got his Deadeye off, got knocked away, but it doesn't matter. He got 2 kills. A huge Earth Shatter comes off though.
That could be a game-saving Earth Shatter coming out from Vio there. And really, I think the story there is that IDDQD pushed in so quickly, and Taimu was so intimidating that Nevix was not able to get his Death Blossom off at all.
You know, now Cruz cleaning up, though. Pluppy does take down Rooster, or Ruster? Rooster, maybe.
Ruster. He rusts things. He turns them to rust. Something.
Sure.
I don't know, that is my interpretation, okay. So Nevix is staying up again, but he has to be careful because Taimu really just flushed him out from the same spot in the last push, and I don't see any reason why Taimu wouldn't do the same again. Yeah,
some good defensive positioning here too, and it's been really impressive that they're able to kind of slow this down as much as they have here. A really aggressive jump in from Hulk, and Pluppy is on behind, and he's got his Reaper up now.
Yeah, he's in the back as Reaper. Hammer does come down. Transcendence is up for the defense here, so really back and forth on both sides. Might be a defensive hold. Nevix did get a decent Death Blossom off there. Pluppy is going to go down. And we'll have another hold here for Arcane. So Arcane, even though they were sort of getting rolled over the start of the game, they've had a very formidable hold on the last point of Dorado here.
Yeah, I think some over-aggressive aspects from IDDQD. Even Taimu kind of in alone right now. He's a little safe because his team is with him, but there's been several times where they've overstayed their welcome, and I'm not really sure with Hulk's super aggressive jump-ins are really worth it anymore.
Hulk just got instigated there, and they're going to have Sound Barrier up very, very shortly here. Sound Barrier for the offense won't be up soon, so the defense just hold on a little bit longer. Sound Barrier is going to drop, but no! Pluppy takes out the Lucio, so that will not be happening. Taimu taking out the Reaper there, so Taimu's still a force, and really Taimu and Pluppy making impossible things happen in the back here, but all good things must come to the end. Cruz takes out Taimu, but still impressive threatening there for a team that really didn't have too much in the way of ults.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love how quickly IDDQD is losing their tanks in a lot of these fights. Hulk was the prime example there, but then they followed it up by losing their Reinhardt as well, and without any tanks in the fight just gets scattered and everyone's very vulnerable, and they end up losing that fight because of it.
I'm going to note that both Taimu and Pluppy have their ults up here, and they've been using them to great effect, so this might be the push. That being said, defensive ults are out. Cruz going into the back line. Dragonblade is out. Not able to get the targets he really wants to get. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at Pluppy. Pluppy, looking at the defensive team, wants to set them up for an ult. Actually ends up going a little bit further back. Meanwhile, Taimu picks out Lucio. Here comes Pluppy. I think he realizes the time is now. He's going to drop down. Speed boost is out. Here comes the Death Blossom, cleaning it up with Taimu. And this might be just what they needed to finish off this point.
Yeah, they absolutely needed it. Now they send their tanks in. Now the tanks have aggression. Their Primal Rage is up. Primal Rage, like I've said, is just the victory cigar on these last points on offense. You just put your monkey right on spawn. No one can get out to deal with it. A good defense actually put that time much further back than I thought it was going to be.
Well, really, IDDQD was rolling through pretty much unopposed up until that last point. And once it hit the last point, things suddenly got very, very rough for them there. Arcane really got their stuff together. They were able to hold for quite a while. And now Arcane has given themselves enough time where they can beat this time of 901. This is super beatable, but they're going to have to bring a little bit more to the table, I think, because overall, in terms of just mechanical deathmatching, I think IDDQD was a little bit ahead of them.
They were winning the one-on-ones. The reason they were able to hold that last point so long was because I think that, you know, some of the plays out of the tanks from IDDQD were a little over-aggressive. They really relied on their fraggers being able to finish up on fights in which they did minimal damage and minimal initiation. Internet Hulk especially, I think there were 3 pushes where he went over that ledge and died instantly. You can't do that.
Yep. So we are going into the next round. Teams are switching sides. It's going to be IDDQD's time to defend. Arcane with a time of 901 to beat, so very beatable for Arcane. They're just going to need to bring it and go through as quick as IDDQD did through the first 2 parts, and then have a little bit more success on point number 3.
Lullaby played really well there. The Zenyatta for Arcane. Not necessarily just the patience on his ultimates, which were fine, but also initiating ultimates in a strange aggressive defensive position. That last push that ended up killing like 4 or 5 people on defense was initiated by the Transcendence pushing forward and staying in range of all his teammates, which is an underrated aspect of the Zenyatta ability.
Yeah, absolutely. So teams are being assembled here. Taking a look at the defense as it comes out. Looks like we will be seeing a Symmetra coming out from IDDQD. Internet Hulk will be on it. Coco's going to be on the Reinhardt, and Bridgebup going to be on the Lucio, and Pluppy.
It's time.
It's been prophesized.
It's time.
He's coming out on the Junkrat. So defensive Junkrat going to be a thing. Tipsogen once again repping the Zenyatta, and Taimu rounding it out on McCree.
Yeah, it's a great map for Junkrat spam, otherwise known as tactical aerial denial. Constant tactical area denial from Junkrat. The traps are great. Mostly when I watch Pluppy play Junkrat, he uses his timed mine very well, not only for mobility but to finish off kills, and that's really the mark of a good Junkrat, is you're hitting those grenades and they do a lot of damage, but when you need that little extra oomph to finish off a tank, that mine coming out and launching a tank either out of position or to his death is a grand maneuver. But opposingly, we're gonna see Pharah. Nevix is gonna run as Pharah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Pluppy is doing here, but it might not. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that. The viewers at home can decide. That being said, Pluppy is starting out on the Junkrat, is laying down the bombs, and we're going to see just how effective the Junkrat is on this map.
Yeah, he's using the angles to his advantage here, bouncing bombs off of walls to hit him where he eventually wants them to end up. It doesn't matter what Pluppy's playing, he always gets the orb. Must be a nice life.
Orb Junkrat, Orb Genji, maybe Orb Tracer, hint hint. Oh, look at that, sending notes into the air, but no, Nevix giving a little bit back to Pluppy, not having any of his stuff, and Hex, with all your love of Pharah, that had to make you happy.
Yup, I really want to see Junkrat enter the meta because Pharah's really good against Junkrat. It's my own personal opinion.
Arcane doing pretty well to get through this first part. I'm not sure the Junkrat spam was as effective as they would have hoped in the end there, so
it's not really good where he was using it for it, but you really want to use it on these archways and where there's limited area for people to start dodging your explosions.
Yeah, again, we're still keeping it on Nevix, seeing what Nevix is doing fair. I think well, the first time we ever saw Nevix was when he was on fair, so a little bit of return to grace here.
Yeah, but Hulk needs to start getting a little more damage out. He needs to get his teleporter up, but they're not going to give him time. Soundbarrier comes in offense.
Oh, what a Reinhardt ult coming down, and look at that from the attack of Arcane. That was so well coordinated. Everyone went in at the same time, and they almost have this. I don't know if there's a teleporter still up, but I think they cleared it out as well, and they are just rolling to this first checkpoint.
Yeah, teleporter got cleared out. They do end up cleaning up Taimu in the back lines, and this card is going to go unopposed to the first point. Nevix also on his fair. I love that, taking that high ground and just kind of spamming them out with rockets too.
I got bad news, Junkrat fans. The dream is dead. Pluppy has thrown away the Junkrat and is now Soldier 76 because I think they realized they need to deal with this Pharah, and just like that, Taimu and Pluppy combined to remove Nevix from the game. So there you have it. They did not want to run Junkrat versus Pharah, and whoa, out of nowhere.
Yeah, and absolutely, and just like that, Nevix off of the Pharah too. So we see picks and counter picks. The meta really shining right now. Nevix is going to come up on McCree.
So Nevix is saying, okay, we're not going to do fair anymore, but they already forced the Junkrat off, and we'll see what they do here. That being said, Arcane is making a lot of good time here. They're moving through here relatively easily. We do have our sound barriers down for both teams here. Ults being popped left, right, and center. Cruz can bring out Dragon Blade at any time here. Might not need to, though, as already 3 kills for the offense, and Arcane making a very strong showing here. That's 4 kills. Pluppy, one of the only remaining defenders, really. It does take out Vio. Has Winston in his sights, but I'm not sure how much a lone 76 can do.
Cruz somehow killed himself. That has to be from a reflect of some sort.
I guess that's possible, but okay, we do see IDDQD making a little bit more progress here. Respawns are in, and they're making some progress. Pluppy, though, activates his L, is immediately killed. Not quite the attack price he was looking for. Here comes Cruz. Cruz bringing out the Dragon Blade. Did not come out last time, coming out now. He's looking again at McCree. Activates the flex a little bit early. Not getting the value he wants. Sort of gets trolled by Transcendence. But
yeah, GosuGamers ruining his day there.
you see an defensive sound barrier coming down, and IDDQD not wanting to give up this ground, and Arcane probably gonna have to find themselves backing up and regrouping here.
Yeah, I admire your effort for trying to cast that play-by-play because that was just an insane 60 seconds there, just ults back and forth. Props to the casters, EP.
Well, thank you, X. But you had this case where basically everyone had their Q, everyone that dropped their Q, and in the end, IDDQD, maybe because they have Q in their name, came out on top.
That is the cheat code, isn't it? Lullaby, the only one with his ultimate up now, and Lullaby has been using the Transcendence really well. There's a lot of situations where most of his team could have died if he was a little slow on the trigger, but he is very quick to cast that Transcendence and keep his team alive so far in the fights.
And again, we see Arcane trying to push up here. They know that they have a long way to go because even after get this next point, the last point can be so hard to get through. Deadeye is coming up, but Taimu takes out Nevix. Nevix not able to get the value he wants, and Nevix being down, that is not good because Nevix is one of Arcane Esports' big guns.
Yeah, offensive Transcendence is forced out, and they're kind of trading kills right now. It looks like Pluppy's going to clean up Vio, though. I think it's going to be a hold.
Yeah. There's going to be another hold for IDDQD for sure. And you know, one thing players are getting better at, just putting their sprays everywhere. Just a thing.
Yeah, I mean, that graffiti really helps morale.
Yeah, just sort of, you know, do your thing, throw down a spray. Why not? We see him bridge up before the defense does have sound barrier up. Sanchez for the offense has up, so we're going to see trading sound barriers here. As I say that, it happens. Both teams going in. Ruster probably going to drop Primal Rage any second here. There it is. Disruption is coming out. Cruz picks up Coco. Gets Puppy as well, so Cruz doing work in the backfield. Gorilla's going crazy here on both teams. Internet Hulk and GosuGamers making their mark as well, and actually Internet Hulk might be helping to take this. Still has the Primal Rage up. 3 kills for Winston. Be heading towards a Winston play of the game, Hex? It's more likely than you think.
Well, probably. You know, it was before that Primal Rage actually happened. Hulk dove deep and was ignored largely by the team, but he dove deep mostly just to get that Zenyatta, which he focused down. Then when he was in trouble, after killing the Zenyatta and taking away all the utility Zenyatta offers, then he busted out Primal Rage to stay alive and continue to disrupt. Look at this huge flank, though. They're all coming. They're going to backdoor this.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really aggressive defense, but everyone just came from behind, and this is not what they were expecting. I don't think they were prepared for this at all.
5 kills that started off. That's going to be point. Only one up is Pluppy. He does it. Well, there goes Pluppy. Never mind.
Yeah, and this is where sort of the aggressive defenses sometimes can backfire, and that was definitely a case of that. Of course, probably the most infamous backfire is what happened to Mix-Up last week versus Google Me, where they went aggressive and their payload got backdoored.
Literally backcapped on King's Row. So this was just an aggressive backdoor flank, but it worked out really well because, like you said, they were just over-aggressive in their positioning.
Yeah, take a look at Bridge Up, and Bridge Up is going to lead the way here. Almost certainly going to drop Sound Barrier any second now if they keep pushing in. But they won't even need to because they pick up 3 kills without, and they're just going to hold on to these ults, and really they're well stocked for the next push, if not 2 pushes.
Yeah, Hulk's aggression on offense looked really poor, but his aggression on defense is working out really well. Surprisingly, that the aggressive tank on defense is the one really carrying right now.
Yeah, I mean, Internet Hulk has had some great plays, and honestly, I think he actually got play of the game on the last push. We'll see. 3.5 minutes, a lot of stuff can still happen. But ultimate-wise, I do think there's going to be an uphill battle here coming out for Arcane, because they're just going to have to eat a failed push or two. The way the ults are.
It depends on the Earth Shatter. If we can get a huge Earth Shatter, and they might be able to push it right here.
They do get a nice Earth Shatter, but the Sound Barrier comes down and really negates a lot of it. And meanwhile, Taimu is still up and able to do all sorts of work as McCree has Cruz in his sights. Cruz, though, still has the orb, still has the Sound Barrier. So really, you have those first kill trades and nothing happening after that. Both teams getting very, very spread out here, in fact.
Yeah, a lot going on all over the battlefield right now, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent hold by IDDQD as they start racking up a couple kills and nothing really coming across from Arcane.
Yeah, Cruz reflects a flashbang, but just finds himself without any friends deep in the enemy lines in IDDQD, able to mop him up and the rest of his team, so good hold from IDDQD, but at the very least, a decent amount of ults were burned, so the next push looking a little bit brighter for Arcane.
Yeah, that Earth Shatter is up again, so I think Earth Shatter could dictate the pace of this fight. They might even just kind of chip around until they have more ultimates up. Rather than trying to half push once, they might just sell out for a whole push.
I'd kind of like to see teams hold out for more ultimates more. I mean, it's risky, but we do see the Reinhardt out come down, but he doesn't hit anything. It's nullified by the other Reinhardt. Meanwhile, see Coco running in, crunches on the wall, but gets taken out himself. So a little bit of trades back and forth here from both teams. Note that Puppy is still alive. He still has ult. He is in the back, takes out the Zenyatta. And really, things looking good here for IDDQD. They're able to clean that up. It was looking sort of like in between, but good cleanup coming out from Puppy.
Just have to hold on for a minute and a half. And the big thing for that push is that they had to burn through a couple ultimates and really got nothing done.
Well, it's actually less than a minute and a half because if you think about the time they set, Arcane only has 38 seconds left. So really, if they're going to do anything, they have to do it on this push, period, because they do not have the full extent of time.
Let's see if they can maybe set it behind noon, but yeah, there goes their high noon.
Taimu with the big picks on that. That's a really, really big deal. And look at that. Taimu with the speed boost just runs into the shield of Deadeye. That was amazing. What a play by Taimu. Puppy cleaning up the rest of the back line, and GGs are called because they are not going to be able to get up. That was beautiful. That's one of the best Deadeyes I think I've ever seen.
We've seen Taimu get speed bursted on Deadeye a couple times here, and it looks so goofy because the animation is so strange that he's walking slowly in a sped up fashion and then kills everything.
I mean, he's practically Michael Jackson moonwalking at high speed at that point. Don't ask how McCree walks, it's just his thing. But so nice stuff coming from IDDQD, and they are going to win.
A nice showing, though, from Arcane, though. Arcane going from a team that we thought is just, middle of the pack, goes out in first rounds in a couple tournaments, but they play in every tournament, so they have my respect immediately. But they're really giving IDDQD a run for it.
They absolutely are. So, taking a look at this real quick, we do have a play of the game. The Truck of Tears made it to the end.
Cruz robbing Hulk.
Yeah, I actually was expecting Internet Hulk here, but no, we just get Genji. I'm sure it's a fine play of the game, but it's not a monkey, everyone, so I'm a little bit disappointed.
Now, and to add insult to injury, Internet Hulk died in that play of the game.
You know what?
That's a lot of McCree damage. I don't play a ton of McCree. That's a lot, right? 15?
That is a lot of McCree damage. So Taimu, I mean, again, he's been one of the better DPS players for quite a while, and I think, honestly, he's only getting better as time goes on. Hey, though, Reinhardt with a lot of damage blocked. Gotta give something to that.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the Reinhardt play today. It's nice to see him not completely out of the meta. Like I said, I think Earthshatter is the best ultimate that a tank has available to them as far as swinging a fight in an instant.
So viewers, do not adjust your sets. It does appear that Hex is fading out of reality. Hopefully he will refocus soon. Pray for Hex. So we're going to be getting to map number 2 pretty soon here. Drafts going much quicker nowadays. Now teams are sort of used to the entire trend of everything. And I'm curious to see if we'll see any change-ups here. Probably, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Arcane not want to go back to Dorado, but it wasn't that bad of a showing for them. I mean, yes, they did lose, but they had potential to take that map.
Yeah, very good showing. I would not count Arcane out of this series at all. Of course, we talked about IDDQD for a while and how good they've looked, but Arcane, I mean, it's definitely not a first roundish game where someone's just stomping the other team. Arcane really had chances to win, and they've put up a good fight so far. I still give them a solid chance to take maps, if not a set.
Hex, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to recall you on Skype.
Okay.
Stand by.
Okay.
We're getting Hex back in the line. I don't like the part where he's just sort of fading out of reality. But now he's not fading out of reality, so we're going to bring Hex back. Hex, you are back. You are back in our reality. Welcome back, friend. But you're muted.
Oh, I was wondering what was going on. I looked at my stuff and it was all set. It was strange.
So, waiting for the next draft link. We'll be good to go. Yeah, I think what's happening there is that you're running the clean feed as well, and just sort of Skype degrades until we bring it back. That's good.
Yeah, well, we want Overwatch available for as many people as possible. So running the clean feed is important because not everyone speaks English and is treated to our lovely casting. Our casting, which includes the support of our sponsors, DX Racer, Matcherino.com, and of course, Rocket. Without them, we would not be able to bring you this broadcast. So thank you very much to our sponsors. $360 in our prize pool this week. Hopefully going up the next couple weeks. We'll see. We're always working on stuff behind the scenes here. Speaking to that point, go to GosuGamers.net/Overwatch. Fill out the polls. How do you like our drafts? How do you like our maps, etc., etc.? Your input is important to us, and yeah, we're looking at changes, but we want to hear from you first. So chime in there, please.
Absolutely, your feedback is important. So we should have the draft link up for you guys in a moment here. Both teams getting ready for map number 2. Here it is. So, Arcane with the first ban here. We'll see. Interested to see what they ban. Probably, my guess would be maybe Temple, maybe a King of the Hill map. We haven't really seen a whole lot of love for King of the Hill today, Hex.
No, unfortunately. Apparently, teams just aren't digging it as much as I am. It's a lot easier to cast, but I also just love the layouts of the map, and also, I mean, I love Pharah. Unabashedly, I love Pharah, and she's great on those maps. I want to see her E ability knocking people off the cliffs. It's great on so many of the King of the Hill maps, and I like people falling to their deaths. So, unfortunately, Arcane is going to ban Nepal, so at least one of the King of the Hill maps is out of the pool.
Yep, Nepal is out, and I would not be surprised to see Lijiang join it very shortly here. Lijiang actually the black sheep of the King of the Hill maps, just because people don't like getting knocked off to their death. And let me tell you, that happens a lot on Lijiang.
Yeah, it sure does. I knock people off to their deaths a great many times on Lijiang, which is why I enjoy that map so much. But we're either going to Hollywood or Kings Row. We're going to Kings Row, which we haven't seen
That was
today.
fast. That was a fast map draft.
This morning's tournament was mostly dominated by Kings Row. A ton of Kings Row played today, but it's our first foray in our GGEU number 5 today. So, Kings Row, let's do it. I wonder if we'll see Pluppy on Soldier 76 here. They ran him to great effect. I don't remember which team. I could pick a team out of the hat. That's the team that Pluppy was on that week playing.
I mean, wasn't Pluppy on every team at that point?
I think Pluppy was playing with a team of 5 Pluppies against 6 other Pluppy clones.
I mean, if there is any flaw to the incredible GosuGamer ranking, something you should definitely check out at GosuGamers.com for Overwatch to see where your favorite teams stand. It's the fact that Pluppy does not have a team unto himself. I mean, where are the Pluppy rankings?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had enough of Pluppy. I'm sure he's in chat. I'm sure his ego's just through the roof. Let's knock him down a peg. I'm rooting against Pluppy in this next map.
Pluppy, I have no respect for you until you show that you actually have a decent tracer. How about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think anyone's shown they have a decent tracer.
It's been a bad day for Tracer.
It's been a tough day for Tracer. That's okay. You can play her tonight on your stream, and you can dominate people with her and just explain the viability.
Yeah, let me get right on that after casting tournament number 3. Unfortunately, people who do follow my stream and whatnot, probably not going to be streaming too much tonight because of that. Might get some streams tomorrow after the tournament. We'll see. Just depends. But definitely back on the normal schedule on Monday for those who are a fan of the stream.
Yeah.
So both teams setting up right now. Should be good to go shortly. Biggest thing holding this up here is that some teams do favor whether they're attack or defense first, and Arcane definitely likes being on attack first.
Yeah, I want to see what people run on defense here. Kings Row, we see so many different compositions on defense and where people want to post up. We've seen Zenyatta's in the window. We've seen Mercy's running back line, just damage boosting people. So there's a whole bevy of options for teams to choose from on how they want to defend it. Symmetra also very popular on this map, especially amongst EU teams. So the possibilities are endless as far as what we're going to see on this map on defense.
Yep, and yeah, we just have to see what sort of looks we see here, because as you mentioned, we do see a lot of different looks. Even sometimes we see defensive Widowmakers. It's totally a variable.
Yeah, defensive Widows, offensive Widows, yeah, all sorts of stuff. Do you think?
If we're not being trolled here, we might see the patented Torbjorn Symmetra defense. We do see this on maps like Hanamura a lot. I'm surprised to see it on Kings Row, but IDDQD might know something that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, the shields are helpful. Turrets and teleporters super helpful. They're going to give up a support and a tank class to be able to fit these characters in. So can Pluppy and Taimu do enough damage? Probably. Can Coco soak enough damage? I would imagine so. So it's just going to be a matter of keeping all of the machinery of the defense alive.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, there is definitely more pressure on Coco here, more so than anything else, because he is the only tank character as a result of running this, but man, there are going to be a lot of turrets, both Symmetra and otherwise, and can Torbjorn not put this turret out because of Coco? I don't know if he's sitting there yelling, it's like, look, move, Reinhardt, move. And Coco's just like, no, man, I'm not going to move, you can place that there.
It's a tough spot to deal with a turret. Now, even if Sanchez stays on this, on the Pharah pick, it's really hard to come over this wall and spam down on the turret. The turret can track you and you still get hit, not to mention you'll have the Torbjorn back there shooting balls of molten lead at you too. So it's a spot that doesn't look like it covers a ton, but it's just so hard to deal with.
Yep, so IDDQD versus Arcane. This is map number 2. IDDQD struck first blood in map 1, and Arcane looking to bring it back here on Kings Row.
Yeah, already Pluppy caught out of the hotel, and he has to evacuate immediately.
Yeah, a little bit rough times here. You see VO in a bit of trouble, and he's going to get taken out right away by Taimu. Very aggressive Reinhardt charge. They're actually going for the other Reinhardt, but it didn't matter because he died so quickly.
Yeah, it's a pretty aggressive hold up front here, but because they have the turrets here, they're able to do it. And losing your tank like that with the shields really spells an end to the push, because you need that shield to be able to block the turret so that you can have your damage healers take it out.
Well, here's the important thing too, taking a look at Internet Hulk. He is very close to getting his teleporter. He only needs to hit one more person or just wait a few extra seconds. Symmetra's passive charging is pretty quickly, and there it is. He can go make the teleporter, but he needs to not die to this Genji.
They ignore
first.
the turret completely. They just run past it.
Yeah, they just ran directly in. To mixed results here, they were able to take out Torbjorn at the very least. They took out Taimu, but I think they lost a bit too many people there to make this the push.
Yeah, it's way too aggressive. They ended up getting split up. The Reinhardt didn't even fully go in. He blocked the turret for a moment. No one even shot around at it. An odd attack.
Well, now the bigger issue going forward for Arcane is that now they have to deal with the teleporter in the back, because the teleporter in the back means that even if they get the picks they need, you'll have reinforcements by IDDQD coming in before they're able to take the point. We see sound barriers coming up for both teams. In comes the Earth Shatter, a crunching from Reinhardt. Both teams trading off back and forth. Earth Shatter from the attackers not doing as much as they would have liked. BO just dying to the axe of Coco, and just like that, IDDQD going to hold firm here and stymie the attacking efforts of Arcane.
They sent Cruz right after the sentry gun, which is a good idea. In theory, Genji does fine against sentry guns, but then he got earth shattered and laid down right next to the sentry gun and just got blown to bits.
Yep, take a look here. We do have an offensive ult, at least for Lullaby. They can go in, they can sort of crutch on the Transcendence and bring them through all the turrets. I think that's exactly what they're going to do here. They're just waiting for Reaper to get in a little bit of a better position, and then they're going to go.
Yeah.
They don't want to waste time and have more defensive ults come up for IDD.
Zarya also has the Tobelstein, and usually you want to counter that with another combination, but I think it might be good enough to just group them all together and start chunking away with your regular abilities. There it is.
Yep, they're going in. There's the Graviton Surge. The Transcendence is out. 2 people down for the defense so far, but the defense is striking back. They have 3 down, and the defense is turning the tides on this, Hex.
Yeah, they just kind of backed into the corner. They got behind the sentry gun, waited for those things to wear off, and then just absolutely came out guns roaring. Taimu leading it up with a couple kills towards the end there, and wow, I don't know what this offense can really do to try to crack this. That's 3 tries now that have failed completely.
Well, the bigger problem they have now, too, is you look at the ultimate situation. The next push probably going to be a bit of a waste for them. They do have sound barriers up from both teams, but Plumpy here just watching and waiting with his Death Blossom. He's going to wait, do some damage on the Reinhardt, and throw Death Blossom out at any point here, if necessary. They're getting on the point, though. Interesting amount of cap progress going on here.
Yeah, but they're unable to take down the turret because I think it got ultimated. Yeah, so it did turn into a level 3, which gives it 800 HP.
It also just makes it the destroyer of worlds in general. It's really hard to push in on Molten Core, period. And the bigger things there is that both Plumpy and Taimu were able to conserve their ultimates in that fight. And the only offensive ultimate coming up right now is Earthshatter. So really, this next push is not looking all that great for Arcane, but they need to do something soon or they're just going to lose on point A.
Yeah, I mean, the Earthshatters are coming on. They're holding way far front. I mean, Cruz is trying to pull them back a little bit because he's Reaper and can get out maybe safely. Dead, never mind. But I mean, one of the unsung things we're seeing about this composition too is these heroes have a ton of HP. They have Symmetra shields and they're getting scrapped now from Torbjorn.
Yeah, I mean, when you have shields and armor, it's actually pretty hard to get through that in a given case. And Chipsogen has been pretty much on point about collecting scrap, putting out armor and all the rest because people have been armored and then some. Chipsogen gets a quick pick on Zenyatta there. I'm not sure if there's trade or him or what, but that is not a good look. Earthshatter not doing too much. Both Reinhardts running into each other. It doesn't have to, though, because the defense of IDDQD is so smothering that they're getting contribution from basically everyone. And Chipsogen actually with, I think, 3 kills on that push, so really good stuff coming out of Torbjorn.
They have one more chance for kind of a half-ass push here, but they have to do it.
I mean, they have no choice, and honestly, ult-wise, this isn't the worst. This is probably the best opportunity they've had ult-wise all game.
No, the Wiz can get in there and disrupt, and maybe Cruz can pull off a huge ultimate.
Molten Core is going to be up any moment. Once Molten Core is up, that's going to be a huge issue for them. Molten Core is coming up. There it is. Taimu and Chipsogen holding things down right now. But the turret goes down, so maybe not.
The Death Blossom was able to do enough damage to that turret to take it down, so now they're going to try to pile on kills with this. Chipsogen, though, takes out the Zenyatta.
He's been battled Torbjorn and actually pretty effective in the back. We do have a last-ditch Deadeye coming up from Devix, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. There's a lot of attackers going down, and they're not able to keep people on the point. And a very convincing defense comes out from IDDQD on round 1 for Kings.
Yeah, you don't need a second support or a second tank when you have that much armor and shields.
So, we're going to go to sign number 2, and the tournament hopes for Arcane now rest on keeping out IDDQD and not giving up point A.
That wasn't even Symmetra's turrets really giving her the play of the game. She hit 2 huge charge shots.
That was nice stuff coming out from Internet Hulk. Oh.
Yeah, does a lot of damage. Chipsogen and his robot combined for a 22 kill streak. Good job, Chipsogen.
Chipsogen was great. I mean, one thing we see from Chipsogen, whether he's playing Torbjorn or playing Zenyatta or what, he's very good at staying alive, period.
Yeah, it's an underrated factor in some of these games. People always respect the fraggers who get in there for the most kills, but if you're getting in there for the most kills, then you're always trading. That's not good. You always want to have that KDR super positive, and staying alive is a big part of most FPS games that I think a lot of newer players at least don't understand. You can't win a fight if you end up dying in it, and you can't help with the second fight or the third fight if you're constantly sitting in spawn.
Yep. So, going into the next round, this is now do or die for Arcane Esports. Their tournament life is on the line. They are down a map, and should they give up point A, they will be out of the tournament after a very respectable run to the semifinals.
Yeah, if they do pull off a full defend here, which is difficult but not impossible as we've seen, maybe a 5 Bastion defense can help them do it, then I think we remap actually. Not certain. I'll let the admins do it, and we probably won't have to deal with it, to be honest. IDDQD looks very good, and Pluppy, again, on Junkrat, maybe.
Are we going to see more Junkrat? The Plup on Junkrat Dream? Will it be... Honestly, I really like Junkrat on this map for offense. Everyone is so grouped up in the back. There's so many areas for the spam to hit. Yeah. I think it makes all the sense in the world. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it more often in Beta 2 now that they made changes to ultimates where Junkrat just doesn't feed the other team all the ults in the world.
Yeah, and there's so many things you can use as a backboard to launch in strange angle grenades too. This giant statue, the walls and back. It's just kind of a geometric playground for Junkrat to be able to get his bombs wherever they need to be. And Chipsogen, I think, might be running a Mercy too, so all sorts of new meta stuff. Although Ruster is going to run a Symmetra on defense.
Yeah, so they're not going full builder defense like before we saw both the Symmetra and the Torbjorn. Going a little bit lighter on it, opting for a somewhat more traditional double support with Zenyatta Lucio.
Now
But they will have their... They're going to have to work it up for themselves. Looking at the offense here, coming out from IDDQD. We got Chipsogen on Mercy, Pluppy on the Junkrat, the Bridge Buff on Lucio, Taimu on McCree, Coco on Reinhardt, Internet Hulk on the 76.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Nevix and Cruz on the fraggers
Oh,
here
and
to
this
do a
is
ton
a
of damage.
damage-boosted Junkrat. It's not just Junkrat, it's Junkrat on roids.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Mostly you're seeing Mercy now, it's not for the healing, it's for the utility. It's definitely for the damage boost has been her role lately.
Oh, Buffy had that Reaper's number there for a second, almost take him out with the spam. That was great.
It's not spam, it's tactical area denial.
Yeah, tactical area denial, but it is doing some work right now. And even without the Mercy boost coming on him, it's doing well. And Internet Hulk able to take out Cruz, so I like the position coming out from IDDQD
Yeah,
so
that
far,
helps. Nevix is in on them, though. He's not able to get any kills. He did a ton of damage, wasn't able to finish anything. There's some finishes, though. Nevix gets 2 kills with BO following up by 1. That might just stall out this whole push.
Yeah, that was a nice charge in by Nevix. Even though they did kill 1 person thus far, this is definitely going to make their attack run, if nothing else, more spread out. We do have people sort of in the backfield, but Floppy gets taken out by Nevix, and really, Nevix just hunting down all the survivors right now. But we do see, speaking of, we see Nevix trying to go in on 76 and Taimu, and you know what, Taimu and Internet Hulk are hanging in back here, and they're not going down just yet.
Yeah, Taimu's in a very, very strange spot that he has to be dealt with.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing a lot of damage. There does his Deadeye coming out, and he gets 2 kills off it from that angle.
Yeah.
That was really nice from
happens.
Taimu. I have nothing else I can say.
Pluppy a couple kills, and they're going to push way forward, just trying to hope that they can get this point right here, right now.
Riptire picks up 2 kills of its own as well. We do have Nevix coming in for last-ditch Death Blossom, not getting the value he wants. A lot of it just sort of
Actually turned into 3 kills somehow. 3 kills somehow after that.
I think it started out bad and then somehow got behind the Reinhardt and it started working. At first it's like, okay, it's not doing anything, and wait, it's doing everything, so...
It looked really bad, but that's the
soon.
save right now.
Yeah, but we already have 2/3 of the point captured by IDDQD here. They only need 1 more third, and they will take the map, they will take the series, and they will move on to our grand finals.
Yeah, we see a 76 also with this composition that the offense is running. That's definitely for some more damage boost coming into the Resurrection.
The Resurrect comes in. They're keeping the pressure on and then some, and I just want to know, Pluppy was able to kill McCree with the trap. That was pretty good stuff coming up from there. He will go down.
Nevix is putting this team on his back right now.
Yeah, Nevix has sort of been the problem that they need to deal with. Take a look at Nevix. Nevix is going to have to back up a little bit. Doesn't want to bite off more than he can chew, and he does just that. Taimu coming in, and now Taimu with the damage boost to McCree. Damage boost to McCree, that is scary, Hex.
Yeah, I mean, all their heroes are really meant to be damage boosted. That Mercy is only healing as a last resort. They're trying to really push in this damage. Just every ult of the book comes down.
Yeah, we see both defensive ults coming down. Might have been better to stagger them a little bit. Now Zenyatta in a lot of trouble, but he kicks McCree in the face. Lullaby, with great presence of mind, is going to stay alive here for at least a little bit longer, but look at the point. He has to sacrifice himself on the point because IDDQD is still so close to winning this game.
Yeah, Nevix trying to do it a last-second Death Blossom to stave off elimination yet again. It is not enough. IDDQD is moving on.
Good stuff coming out from IDDQD. There will be no victory parade or anything like that. It's simply too long. And honestly, that was a good defense from Arcane for a long while, but just in the end, IDDQD able to wear them down bit by bit, piece by piece, and they have brought themselves to the grand finals, X.
We've seen the best teams actually start to just become really good at defense. You know, offense can be a little bit unpredictable and it's a little bit tougher to coordinate, but if you can really lock down a defense on these first points, as we're seeing teams able to lock down Nimbani first point, King's Row first point, those are the teams that are having great success because those are maps that they feel they can bank. If we only have to get first point, I think we can maybe pull it out of a hat somewhere, but if we can always lock down first point on defense, we're golden.
Yeah, and I think it's just teams are getting more comfortable with what they can do on defense, how they can push stuff, how they can push up after getting a few picks and whatnot, and really just sort of see the game sense of people evolving in front of our eyes week to week. And I just feel like every week we see a new level of gameplay being brought out by these teams, and really showing that their scrimming and hard work is paying off.
So IDDQD beats Arcane 2-0 to reach our grand finals of GosuGamers